Hi everyone, it's me, Pat. This week is all about our sense of hearing. And at first I thought, well, that's going to be easy. We always hear something. There's always something going on around us. Is there ever any true silence? But as I thought about it, that's what makes it difficult to spend some time getting to know God through our sense of hearing. Is that there is always something going on. There is always a noise, a sound, something that we hear. Well, as I thought about it, I began to realize that there's a difference between just hearing things and listening for things. So, to start us off this week, I have a number of random video clips that I took of different sounds. Now, some of them are from my travels, some of them are from my walks around Victoria. Some of them I've even covered the lens to see if you can just guess what you're listening to. And some of them I ask you to focus in on a specific sound. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy listening. I don't know if you'll know what this one is. You ready? Take a look. That's who's making all this noise. Okay, everyone, here's a sound you might not know. Ready? There it is. That's the sound of the milk going in the pail. Can you hear it? Yeah? All right, listen closely. See if you can figure out not only what the noise is, but where I am.
Having fun with you here?
Yep. I'm on the ferry, about to leave Departure Bay. Did you guess that one? Can you hear the wind? You can hear the water as the boat goes through it. And check out the sunset. Being on the ferry is all about your senses. Okay, you have to listen carefully to this. Do you hear wind? Do you hear water? Let's watch what happens. I am on the front of a sailboat. And there's the crew. Okay. Now listen to the wind and water. Thormanby Island. If you want to check on a map, that's where I'm sailing away from. What you're listening to. That's the noise the steering wheel makes when it's on autopilot. Because everyone is busy adjusting the sails. How cool is that? That's the boat moving through the water. I'm actually down below. That's where you can see the water going by. But let's just listen. That is a cool sound. I love it. Okay, I'm in Chemainus, in the park in the center of town. And I am showing you another tree. But what do you hear in the background? You made a guess? Here it comes. The water wheel. But listen to the bird. Can you see him? I can actually see him. You just have to reach out and touch an arbutus tree. Did you hear the sound it made? You hear the wind moving through the trees? I've come to Fort Rod Hill, a historical spot in Victoria, and I've gone on the nature walk. And I'm going to be quiet and just let you listen to all of the sounds that I hear. I'm just standing on the path, enjoying the beauty of the trees. But like I said, I'll show you around, but I'm going to be quiet. And I hope you can just hear the beauty of nature. I love how the sound of the waves on this side is so different from the sound of the waves on this side. And there's that sound I love again. Hello, arbutus tree. I found a spot to sit right near the top of Mount Doug on this beautiful blue sky day. And in doing some exploring with our sense of sound, I thought it would be great to just sit and make no sound. And the longer I sit in silence, the more I hear. I think the voice of God is like that. We need to sit in silence, admiring the beauty of God's creation, so that we can hear the voice of God. Listening is what gives all of the sounds that we hear their meaning. And there are so many references in the Bible to listening to what God has to tell us and to remind us that God is always listening to us. There's a great story in the Bible, one of my favorites, about a young boy named Samuel. And he lives with a priest named Eli. And one night they had already settled in for the night and they were in their bed sleeping. And Samuel heard his name called. So he got up and he went to Eli and he said, "You called me?" And Eli said, "No, I didn't call you. Go back to bed." A second time, Samuel heard his name called. And again, he went to Eli, and Eli said, "No, I didn't call you. Go back to bed." And it happened a third time. And this time, when Samuel went to Eli and said, "Did you call me?" Eli realized that it was the Lord who was calling Samuel. And so Eli told Samuel to go lay quietly and to tell God that he was listening. And isn't that true for all of us? The voice of God is all around us. We just need to lay quietly and listen. Where do you go to listen quietly to the voice of God? I have a story I want to share with you called A Quiet Place. And this is about a boy who is searching for a quiet place to listen. A Quiet Place by Douglas Wood. Sometimes a person needs a quiet place. A place to rest your ears from bells ringing and whistles shrieking and grown-ups talking and engines roaring and horns blaring and grown-ups talking and radios playing and grown-ups. Well, even grown-ups need a quiet place sometime. It can be hard to find one. You have to know where to look. You could look under a bush. A lilac bush in your own backyard. When you crawl underneath it, all the sounds of the world seem soft and far away. You could be a pirate, finding buried treasure on a desert island. A bush could be your quiet place. Until someone calls you to clean your room. Then you could look in the woods. You might find an old stump for a chair or a mossy log for a couch. in a green mansion of shadows and sunbeams. It's not really quiet, of course. Birds scream warnings and the wind sings in the leaves, but it feels quiet. You could be a timber wolf, the gray ghost of the forest. The woods could be your quiet place. But if the woods are too deep and too dark, then you could look by the sea, on a beach in the early morning fog. Your footprints are the first of the day. The waves are roaring and the gulls are crying, but it doesn't seem noisy. And you can just be an explorer, discovering a lost continent. The beach could be your quiet place. But if the beach is not your cup of tea, you could sit by a pond. A heron by the shore stands as still as a tree branch. And the water is so calm, it looks like a mirror. Then a frog plops from a lily pad, and your face begins to wiggle. And you can be the world's greatest fisherman, reeling in a monster catch. A pond could be your quiet place. But if the fish aren't biting, you could live in a cavern where every footstep echoes and the slow drip drip of water builds new rocks that hang like icicles or stand like sculptures, where days and nights and weeks and years are all the same. And you can be a cave dweller in the lair of the saber-toothed tiger. A cave could be your quiet place. But if a cave is too damp and cold, you could climb to the top of a hill where clouds float by like ships or alligators or elephants. On a hilltop, you can see a long way and think long thoughts about how and what and why. And you can be a mountain climber on the top of the world. A hilltop could be your quiet place. But if your legs are too tired for climbing, you could go to a secret corner of the library where the only people talking are between the covers of books. They speak so softly, only you can hear them in your head as you read about forests and oceans and deserts and caverns and museums and 1,000 other things. The library could be your quiet place. But if the library isn't open yet, you could come home and clean your room and read your own books and think your own thoughts and feel your own feelings and discover the very best quiet place of all. The one that's always there, no matter where you go or where you stay. The one inside of you.